is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? My name's Tony, aka Star Wars Sith, and welcome to another episode of Sith Talk, where we talk Star Wars news, rumors, and coming soon. Today we have on the show Nat from the Real Jedi Princess YouTube channel. How you doing today, Nat?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for joining.
Of course. It was such an honor when you asked me. I was just like, yes.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your channel, what your channel focuses on, and where we could find you at.
So my channel is primarily like Star Wars anime. I haven't posted on my YouTube channel for a while, but that's changing. I usually like posting reactions, reviews, lightsaber reviews. And if not that, just kind of like sharing my love for Star Wars, Ahsoka, Kylo Ren. And you can usually find me on Instagram at the Real Jedi Princess, Twitch at the Real Jedi Princess, because I also stream Star Wars games too.
Nice.
I'm trying to finish Fallen Order before Survivor comes out
Next week.
so literally, I'm hustling through, man.
Yeah.
And then of course, on my YouTube channel at the Real Jedi Princess.
Awesome. All right, guys. So I'm going to put her channel in the description. Be sure to check her out. So everybody that comes on the show, I ask them the same 3 questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So the first one is, what is your favorite Star Wars movie?
Easy. And I'm gonna, if I get hate for it, it's fine. But I have my reason. It's the Phantom Menace.
Nice. No, I've had someone come on and that was their favorite. Why is it your favorite?
It's my favorite because it was the first Star Wars movie I've ever seen in theaters in 1999. I was 5 years old and I went with my dad. And I loved it so much. I had my parents buy me a Queen Amidala costume for Halloween that year. And I've been hooked ever since.
Yeah, there should be no hate. The Phantom Menace is awesome. Someone else, it was like their first movie they saw too. And then another person, it was just their favorite. But like the Phantom Menace is freaking awesome, man. Like that was my first Star Wars movie I saw in theaters. All the OGs I saw on VHS back in the 90s. So yeah, Phantom Menace is fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only was it my first Star Wars movie, but it was kind of like that first movie or that first franchise that I could associate with in real life, because I was also going to the Disney parks a lot and Star Tours was a ride. So like once I saw Phantom Menace and my family when I would go to MGM Studios back in the day,
yeah,
I would beg to go to the Star Wars area to see the big AT-AT, to see to go on the ride multiple times, to go through the shops. And it was kind of like my first memory of like something that I really, really liked. And plus I love the lightsabers. That's any kid sees lightsabers, they get so excited. So that's what it was.
No, for sure. For me, my favorite is just Revenge of the Sith. Like that story.
Good one too.
Yeah. And like going into that movie, knowing what the ending was, but not knowing how they were going to get to it. I still remember that feeling, seeing that at midnight on Thursday back in 2005. And I'll like never forget it. It's just, that movie's just so classic.
I just remember the Kellogg, like especially Frosted Flakes, because that's the cereal I was eating, sold the lightsaber spoons during the time of the Revenge of the Sith. So I would get my dad to go buy so many Kellogg's boxes so I could collect all the spoons. And I was at the kid in the theater with all my spoons watching the movie. I had them all turned on, and then the lady kind of like yelled at me saying, "You have to turn them off during the movie." And I'm just like, but I had all the spoons.
That's so cool. So awesome. So next question is, what is your favorite Star Wars show? Only one show, live action or animated, but you could only pick one.
Done. The Clone Wars.
Nice. And why the Clone Wars out of everything?
Well, my favorite character of all time is Ahsoka.
Nice.
And that's where she comes from. And I don't know. To me, the Clone Wars, as a prequels kid, like someone growing up and, growing up being told like the prequels sucked, I feel like the Clone Wars kind of tied together so much of the prequels itself. It gave so many new storylines. It continued people's storylines. It expanded on stories that, we knew nothing about. And Dave Filoni's a genius.
Oh, yes. No, for sure. So for me, it's Clone Wars, but only because of season 7. Season 7 put it over the edge.
Fire.
those last 4 episodes, Revenge of the Sith 2.0, like I was blown away waiting week for week, and like it blew my mind. But before
Iconic.
that, yeah, before that, it was Rebels. I had Rebels high up there because so much happened in Rebels. Like everybody's in there. So it was close between Rebels and Clone Wars. Now with the Ahsoka show coming out and it basically being Rebels season 5, it
I
might
love how everyone's saying that. It's like
cause
an extension, basically.
it pretty much is, and there was a rumor for the longest that Filoni had a sequel animated series written for Rebels, but it got canceled because they're taking that script and using it for live action, which makes
Mm,
sense. And we've seen the Ahsoka trailer; it's freaking Rebels, like season 5.
basically. Yeah,
So
I agree.
yeah, but yeah, no, Clone Wars like so much, and Clone Wars brought my favorite character back from the dead, Darth Maul, and I was late to Clone Wars, so I never really watched Clone Wars, and I was watching the Solo movie, right? Back
Hmm.
in what was that, 2016, 2018, 27,
Yeah.
whatever year it was. And I saw Darth Maul was in there, and I'm like, he's dead. How is this possible? And then I Googled it, and I was like, oh, they brought him back in Clone Wars. I went,
Hmm.
binged, and was hooked instantly.
Yeah, now that I think about it, if you only watch Rebels and you just see Maul show up out of nowhere, you're like confused
Yeah,
beyond belief. You're just like, wait
yeah,
a minute, I'm pretty sure I saw him die in Phantom Menace. Um,
exactly.
them bringing him back was literally iconic because
Oh
another reason
gosh.
why Phantom is one of my favorite Star Wars movies is because I love Maul. Like I think he was the coolest Sith. Um, obviously aside from Darth Vader's
Yeah.
obviously sick as all hell. But when you see Maul, Vader, and Dooku, like I have to have put like Maul first, Vader second, and then Dooku third, like just from prequel Sith Lords.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and it was like the first time I ever saw a dual saber, like a double-edged saber, and I was like, "That's the sickest thing
Yes.
I've ever seen before."
So I still remember it because the movie dropped in 99. I think the trailer dropped in 98. And when I saw Maul, I'm like, that red dude looks crazy. And then the
He got
doors
horns and
open,
everything.
the horns, and then the lightsaber lights up both ways. And I was like, they can do that? Because back then there was
It
barely
was just
internet. There's barely, like, we didn't know what we know now. So that was part of the reason he became my favorite was that. But then Filoni giving him more depth in that story. Like, I'm Team Maul all day, all day.
yeah, yep.
So the next question then, well, you'll know the answer to that for me. But who is your favorite Star Wars character? That's a tough
Well,
one.
it's because it's really tied between two, but realistically, it's Ahsoka. Ahsoka
Okay.
is my favorite Star Wars character of all time. She has the greatest story, the greatest, if anything, like achievements, even like throughout the entire season.
Uh-huh.
Even though like people thought she was annoying in the movie, they thought she was annoying seasons 1 and 2.
Yep.
She was like exactly what I pictured myself to be if I were to be an apprentice
Mm-hmm.
going through the Jedi Order. Being snarky, being snippy,
Snips. Oh, I love
literally
her.
snips. And I was fascinated more about like how just beautiful she was as a woman, um, as a Togrutan woman. Like I don't know, I just felt like she was amazing. Ashley portrayed her like great. I didn't actually get into Clone Wars till like 2013, 2014. So
Uh-huh.
pretty a few. We were already a couple of seasons in at this
Mm-hmm.
point. Or if anything, I think the show was just wrapping up from season 5. And I went to Star Wars weekends, and after binging all of Clone Wars, I got to see Ahsoka in person, like as a character at Disney, and I just fell in love with her even more.
Yeah.
I loved the character that she had in the park. I met Ashley Eckstein as Ahsoka stuff,
Mm,
and it was just like having that memory of seeing her get so excited in my cosplay. It just kind of amplified my love for Ahsoka. And then so when we saw basically season 7 of Rebels and we were just getting these arcs of Ahsoka, I was just kind of like falling in love with her all over again.
yeah.
Saw her again in Rebels and just seeing her growth as a character, and then was so happy to see her made live action.
Yep.
And now we're getting a live action show of her. Like it's the best thing ever, and it's the best time to be an Ahsoka fan.
What about her and Tails? I know you must love Tales of the Jedi.
10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. When I heard the
Perfect.
concept of Tales of the Jedi, I was kind of I was excited because once again, I love Filoni animation. I love
Yeah,
Clone Wars era animation. No hate to Rebels, but when I first started watching Rebels, I was such a Clone Wars fan. I
it's
was kind
different.
of disconnected at the animation when it first came
Yeah,
out, so
yeah.
it's kind of like turned off by Rebels.
Yep.
Um, and then, but seeing Tales of the Jedi last year, it was so good. I'm like happy that they announced a season two.
Yep.
Because now I'm really curious who the other two Jedi are going to be and who we're going
Yeah.
to be seeing more stories of. Because it just, I don't know if it's not. It kind of gives me like closure on some characters. Like I actually was really curious, like of Ahsoka's parents, of her home life on
Yeah.
Togruta.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
it was very interesting, and oh, she's just such an amazing character. I just love her so much.
No, that's awesome. Super good answer. So for me, it's Maul, but it's usually three that it fluctuates between. Maul's usually up top, but it's Boba and then Anakin. So those are like my top three right there, pretty much. And like with Anakin, that's kind of like being selfish two for one because that's Anakin and Vader.
Hmm.
But
Well, Anakin's very different than Vader. Like
yeah, yeah, I know,
maybe
I know.
some characteristics exist in Vader that Anakin had, but like Anakin is such a different character than Darth Vader. And of course, Clone Wars even shows that.
Yep. No, for sure, for sure. But yeah, it's usually Maul. So I'm just a little boy here waiting for Maul to pop up somewhere, animated or live action. I was hoping in this freaking finale that like Giancarlo or the armor was gonna be like confirmed they're Maul loyalists, that there were Maul DeLoreans,
Oh
but
my god.
nothing. Even though I knew that wasn't gonna happen because there's that drama with Ray Park, so it's probably realistically getting a live action Maul. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but my hopes are maybe an animated something. We get something with Maul. So
And
I,
Sam Witwer's an amazing voice actor, and I'm pretty sure he'd be more
he
than
is.
happy to come back as in voice Maul.
I know. He is. He is. So all right. So I got a few different articles we're gonna get into, but before we get into them, let's talk Celebration. How did you
Yeah.
enjoy London Celebration?
Well, it was my third Star Wars celebration. I've attended two before, so two were both in Orlando, and
Okay.
both of those were so different because it was actually during times in Star Wars that very polar opposite. So the first celebration I went to was 2012 celebration. I think that was
Oh
the
wow.
fifth or sixth Star Wars celebration that to even exist,
Yeah.
and it was nothing that it is now. Like back then, you were just there to see people in cosplay, meet voice actors or some actors in Star Wars, and
Yeah.
by back then it was just like Peter Mayhew, Kenny Baker,
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill. Like it was just bits and pieces here and there. Ahmed Best was there back in the day. Like so
Nice.
like the most not the most randomest people, but like it was very small back then. Like to
Yeah.
even to meet Mark was like $70
Oh
back
my
in
God.
2012.
Oh
Um
wow.
Nothing is like that ever again. And
No.
the convention center really wasn't packed. Like it was still in the same convention center it was back in Orlando.
Yeah.
But we were only using half of the hall. And it was like there was no Star Wars announcements happening back then. No like Lucasfilm pan, like none of those were
Yeah.
happening. And then 2017, completely different because we were now in the dawn of all these Star Wars movies. The sequels
Yep.
were coming out. Rogue One had just come out the year before. We
Yep.
just got the trailer for The Last Jedi. So it was just
Yeah.
like all these things were happening during that time. And so like this celebration, I was curious to see like how that could get like elevated, and it did get elevated. I mean, so
Yeah.
much was announced at our and this past celebration. It was my first time in London, so that was
Mm,
fun. I've always said I
yeah.
wanted to attend an international Star Wars celebration. That was always my goal. I had a lot of fun. The best parts to me were meeting all the online people that I had gotten to know over the years
Yeah, yeah,
in person. Like it's so surreal because like, you know, we build the Star Wars community and many times we're just like, we're never gonna be seeing these people. Like we're streaming and we're like,
yeah,
we're so far away from each other, we're never gonna be in the same room as them. But then once you're in the same room as them and you're in Star Wars Celebration, like you're like all the stuff that we love and we talk about, we're actually in the room for, and
yep,
it's just all the great feelings, and then seeing all the amazing cosplays that just you know of characters that just came out, like already seeing all the Andor cosplays, seeing all the Mando cosplays.
yep.
Oh, so good, so good, and of course, like I just we got the Ahsoka panel, we got the Ahsoka trailer, something I've been waiting
Yes.
for all year, to be honest. So it was a great time. There were some hiccups along the way, some things that I'll definitely keep in mind for
Oh
next
yeah.
celebration when I attend in
Yes.
Japan.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, I it was overall a great experience. My body's mentally exhausted, and I'm now suffering through post-con depression.
Yeah, me too. So 2017 Orlando, did you do all 4 days?
I did. I did.
Nice. So that was my first celebration, but I only did 2 days because I didn't know what celebration was. And I was like, 2 days is enough. I don't need to go for 4 days. And boy, was I wrong. Because that third and fourth day, when I was at home, I was wishing I was there. And from then on,
Yeah.
I never missed. Like Chicago, all 5 days, Anaheim, all 4 days, London, all 4 days.
I wanted to go to Anaheim so badly, but it was
It
also
was
during the
fun.
time that like had just moved to Atlanta. Like I was working in
Uh,
the film industry, so I really couldn't leave. But
mm,
when I heard that it was in London, I'm like, I have to go. Yeah, Orlando was a great time. It was definitely like I used to live in Disney. I used to live in Orlando. I was so
mhm.
close to the convention center that like I still got there super early, but
Oh, of course.
it was very nice living in the city where the convention was happening.
I know, and I was kinda hoping that, 2025 would have been Orlando
Me
again,
too.
because like, it's like a hour, 2-hour drive for me, super quick, super cheap, super easy, and then they said Tokyo, Japan, and at first, I was like, "Damn," but then I was like, "Damn," like, I've always wanted to go, but, like, that 18-hour flight is kinda crazy. Now I'm gonna thug it out, and I'm making it happen, like, nonstop planning, like
I
crazy.
literally I will what's funny enough is like next year I turn 30 years old, so my 30th trip is supposed to be I'm supposed to be going to Japan. And my birthday's in August, so it's just like, you know
Yeah.
what? I can just push this like 6
Oh,
7
yeah.
months. And that's what I'm doing. I'm pushing my 30th trip so it can fall in line with celebration because I've always wanted to go to Japan. Like I got
Yep.
into I'm a late bloomer when it comes to anime, but like I got into anime back in 2020.
Oh, nice.
And it's my favorite thing. Like I love anime so much. But I also have always admired Japanese culture. I've always wanted to
Yeah.
go, and I've actually started. I mean, I've been learning Japanese at this point since like October. Not saying I'm
Nice.
fluent, but I'm at least
Yeah, yeah.
praying by the time I get there, I can walk around without subtitles. So
Nice, nice. So, yeah, Japan's gonna be crazy, but yeah, London was a blast. I was really interested to see like how you were like how it would be an international celebration compared to like a US one, and like compared to the three that I went to in the US, a lot of it was kind of the same in the sense of the vibe, where it's nothing but fans, you're
yeah,
meeting people, the cosplay,
agreed.
and then you get the announcements. The only thing that was different was the Excel's layout was trash.
Horrible
The tra-
basura,
yes,
garbage.
yes, the way the traffic flowed, the way they let out of the panels,
Oh,
nothing made
horrible.
sense. The layout of the halls, when the big queue hall was empty the whole time, like nothing made sense. So
I
that
was
was the
trying,
worst
yeah.
part.
I was trying to like when they send us the like the convention map weeks before.
Oh, I was
I was re-
dissecting it. Yeah.
I was dissecting it. I'm like, okay, so this is where this is going to be. But even that looked more organized than what we
Yeah.
experienced because I was not even expecting that whole thing in the middle. Like when you
Oh,
saw
I hated
Costa
that aisle.
Coffee in the middle, and I was just like, this is horrible. We're all trying to get around. It's hot because even though it was
Mm.
cold outside, that sun
Oh,
beaming in with that glass ceiling, like
yep.
heat everywhere. And what was crazier to me is I felt like in Orlando 2017, I saw more ADA accessible, like it was just basically if you had a disability or you had a
Yeah.
chair, you had, it was just more accessible to get around in Orlando versus Excel. Because I was like staring at many of these places. I'm just like, this is a nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolute nightmare for anybody in a wheelchair. Because especially like having to push through all these people. I was just like, there were a lot of things in my head that were docking off, being like, okay, probably won't come to Excel again.
Yeah.
But when I saw the convention center that next year celebration or 2025 celebration is going to be in, um, everyone's like, oh my god, well, the lines in the queues in Japan are going to be crazy. I'm like, I don't think you guys understand how the Japanese work.
Efficient. It's gonna be efficiency.
Efficiency is key.
Yep.
Like efficiency will be their number one key in like Japan in 2025. Like I am, if anything, I am more excited to attend that celebration to see how organized and
Yeah.
nice
Yeah.
and everything's gonna be. Like I Excel, like to me, a lot of the problems were also the employees working there because a
Oh,
lot
the
of them
temp
just were,
workers.
I mean, I get they were volunteers, and when you're volunteering, you're getting the badge really to work there, but to also
Yeah.
be there. A lot of times, people were just like spaced out, and just there wasn't a clear form of communication
Nope.
on many things, and it was kind of frustrating to me. So once again, I had a few hiccups here. Like one of them being, so the day of the Ahsoka panel, one thing that like got me really upset was the fact that, so I understand if you had the celebration QR code and there was a separate line for the celebration stage,
Yeah.
but if you had either Twin Suns or a Galaxy stage, you had to wait in the general queue. The reason why that made me mad is because I still showed up an hour before my before the Ahsoka panel
Uh-huh.
and had to wait in the general queue, and I didn't get out of that. I didn't get into the convention center until like less than like 9 minutes till the Ahsoka panel started.
Oh,
And
damn.
we were in Galaxy stage. We weren't in Twin Sun, so we couldn't just like walk there and then get
Right
in.
there.
We
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
run to the other side of the convention hall, and
Oh.
like we made it in with, kid you not, like maybe 3 minutes to spare. And at that point, the Galaxy stage seats are all pretty filled, and I was with a friend who is also of my short stature.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're all here trying to find seats that are not behind these tall,
Tall
like
people.
Chewbacca sized people, so we can see the screens. And thankfully, we found seats, and it was great. But like, if we were like even 5 minutes late, we
Mhm.
wouldn't have made it in on time. And I think that's what
Wow.
made me frustrated. Is just like you made this whole big deal of the lottery system that we have the QR code will be just go inside,
Yep.
but there wasn't a separate queue for the Galaxy and Twin Sun stages that we still had to queue up with the general people. And if you're telling us on our QR codes, like come 30 minutes before,
You can't. Yeah.
you can, is that ain't gonna work. So like
That's
that
so
was a big
crazy.
like dock to my day, but that quickly went away the second I saw the Ahsoka trailer. And of course,
Yeah.
that was the day I met Hayden and Gwendolyn Christie. So that trumped over
Oh,
all the
yeah.
crap I dealt with in the morning.
That's so awesome. Yeah, the Ahsoka trailer. So the first one was good on Friday, but on Friday they also showed us the Acolyte trailer in the Lucasfilm panel. And honestly, that Acolyte trailer, I was more hyped for that than the Ahsoka trailer from the first day.
Really?
Yeah, and I was shocked because I knew nothing about Acolyte. But then when we got that second Ahsoka trailer on Saturday, it took all the hype back. It blew
Oh god,
me
it's so
away.
good.
Oh my
I
god, I
will
can't.
say I didn't get into the Lucasfilm panel, obviously, so I didn't get to see the Ahsoka trailer. So when my friends were texting me saying, "Yo, the Ahsoka trailer just dropped," in my head, I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "It's
Ah.
Friday. Like, there's not the Ahsoka like panels tomorrow. Like, why are
Yep.
they dropping it now?" And I was kind of getting upset. I was like, "Wait a minute. So what the hell am I going to tomorrow if they
Exactly.
dropped it today? Um, and so I kind of was salty about that. But then I was in the room when it happened and I saw the trailer and I was like, okay, I
This is
take back my
different. Yeah.
statement.
Yeah.
Retract.
They did that in Anaheim too. Friday was the Lucasfilm panel, and then Saturday was the Mando Plus panel. So at the Lucasfilm panel, they gave us a Mando season 3 trailer. So then at the Mando panel, we're like, well, what are we gonna see? They gave us another trailer that had an extra minute of footage that was insane.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, they do that. They'll do the general one on Friday that they'll release on YouTube to keep people happy at home. But then the next panel, you're gonna see stuff that like is just for you, which is crazy. So
Well, they didn't do anything like that in 2017 because I was in a Lucasfilm
no,
panel back in
yeah.
2017. And the only, I mean, but I will take this over anything else. I was actually in like the main room for the Lucasfilm on
Oh,
back in 2017. So
George.
getting to see John Williams perform, like conduct in person was like the best thing in the world. Getting to see Harrison and Mark coming out,
Yeah.
I needed paddle.
Oh
I
my
needed to be revived because I
God.
was dead. But we got no trailers. We did get what's crazy is we did get the Last Jedi trailer, but
Yeah, I remember
it
that.
played in the general area where the
Everywhere.
live
Yep.
stage was.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, oh, so that's how I thought that's how the trailers were going to go throughout celebration because that's what
That
I experienced back then. But I'm like, oh no, I guess they're actually doing panels for this now.
so that's how it was in Chicago too. Cause so in Chicago, there was a panel, you could see it, but they also played it on the live stage in the exhibit hall. So like for Rise of
I
Skywalker,
want to say that was the Rise of Skywalker year.
yeah,
Damn.
so my buddy won the panel, so he was sitting down watching it, but I was at the live stage surrounded by 2,000 people watching it, and it was super hyped to be in that crowd
And you
for
hear
the
Palpatine's laugh.
yes, yes, we got the name reveal at the end. Everybody went nuts. You heard Palpatine laugh. Everybody went nuts. That was amazing. So when we went to
So
Anaheim, I
great.
kind of figured it would be the same, but it wasn't. At Anaheim, there was none of the trailers, nothing was played on the floor. It was only in the panels, which I thought was weird. And then London did the same thing.
They're trying
So
to be more secretive with this stuff.
I guess, but that sucks for the people that didn't get in, which was a lot of people. So super crazy. All right, so the first few articles we're gonna get into is about your best friend, Ahsoka.
They all
So
look so good.
yeah, so this first one is talking about the first look at 6 of the Rebels characters in live action, which makes me so happy. So let me scroll through. The first was seeing Hera. So what did you think when we finally got to see her in like face close in the trailer?
I mean, we really don't get to see any of our favorite characters live action. We
Yeah,
don't get to see often. And then just get no, I mean, we knew Hera was going to be in the show. It was very obvious that she was
yeah,
going to be here. Um, it was kind of like a dream come true. I actually completely forgot it was Mary that was playing with her.
yeah,
Because like I remember all the names being announced. Usually in their like
yeah.
Star Wars announcement. And then it hit me. I'm like, she's married to Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Kenobi and Hera
This
confirmed.
family, oh my god, this family is it's amazing. But I loved Hera in the show. I loved seeing Hera in Clone Wars.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Or in
And
Bad Batch when she was
oh,
in
I extension of
the young, yeah, yep,
basically Bad Batch, Clone Wars 7.5 extension
7.5,
is what they
yep,
call the Bad Batch.
yep.
Um, but oh my god, just seeing her then hyped me up for seeing her live action. So now that she's live action, I'm like, yes, I'm here for it. Really excited.
So the cool thing at Anaheim, they they literally started filming Ahsoka the week before, and they showed us a little bit of footage back in Anaheim. And one of the scenes was Hera, but it was just her from the back, and she was walking in the cockpit. But we knew it was clearly her. You saw the flight jacket, the green
Yeah,
Lekus, so we
you
knew
put
she
two
was
and
going
two
to be
together.
in there. Yeah, exactly. Like obviously, but we didn't see like her face. So seeing like this reveal is
So
great.
good.
I can't wait to hear her though, and I hope she has that little like Jamaican accent when she gets mad or when she's around her family, because you know how her
She had it
accent
as a
would
little
change.
accent, yeah.
Yeah. When she was with her family, it would turn like kind of like Caribbean almost. So
Well, yeah, most Ryloth have an accent. I remember, oh my God, Jedi Master Ayala Sakura. She in the Clone
yeah,
Wars, she had an accent,
yep,
and I thought that to be a really amazing characteristic that the people of Ryloth have.
yeah,
It makes them unique.
no, for sure. So the next one, oh, Sabine.
This is
Sabine.
this is the one I've been the most hyped about.
So at Anaheim, she came out on stage. We knew she was playing Sabine. They introduced her, but we didn't see any visuals. We didn't see nothing. I
We didn't
think
see her
the
hair.
Yeah, we didn't see anything. I think in one of the little snippets they showed us, you saw her from the back, but it was quick and she was touching the mural, but you couldn't really see or tell like the hair or the armor. But in the trailer, seeing her seeing her with long hair and short hair and in her armor. Oh, what did you like? How did you feel seeing that
Well, what's crazy to me is I remember seeing live action Sabine back in Star Wars weekends in 2015
at the
because
parks?
when at the
Yeah.
parks because she became a character. Actually, the last year Star Wars weekends happened was 2015, and Rebels had just come out. I think the year before. So when they made Ezra and Sabine characters in the park, I had many friends that got to be friends with Sabine, and
Hmm.
it was just such an amazing thing to see because she looked so cool.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm just thinking, well, they've made her a character in the parks. Imagine her like as a live action character. And at that point in 2015, none of us even pictured any of our like Rebels friends ever being live action.
Yeah.
But now she's here, and I'm here for it. I love it so much, and I do love that she not only has short hair, but you could see the growth in her hair, and you can see how long she's been in this like
Yeah.
around, and it's so excited,
Yes.
so hyped
Oh,
for her.
I know. I'm so happy. I cannot. Oh, this show is.
And
I can.
great casting choice too. Like
Oh, for
she's an
sure.
amazing actress.
Yeah. I just know my reactions for every episode of the show are gonna be through the roof because I'm gonna be so excited and so happy for everything.
I'll probably be crying every single day.
Oh yeah.
Every
The
single day, like this is real. This is not fake.
so before we get into the next one, like Hayden's confirmed to be in it. So
Hmm.
I'm good. Like, oh my god. And
We're gonna be getting some Clone Wars era throwbacks,
yes.
flashbacks, and
I'm gonna be
I'm
crying
gonna get
too. I'm
that.
gonna have
I
a
mean,
box of
serious.
tissues like ready because
I'm
yeah.
gonna have to invest in waterproof mascara, which I'm so surprised I don't own at the moment.
So Chopper is the next one. I love Chopper. He's like has to be top 3 droids for me. This little murder droid is hilarious. Has the most kills in Star Wars
He
history.
carries
Yeah,
this droid carries. Like I'm not gonna lie, Rebels won't be Rebels without
without
Chopper.
him. Yeah. So I
Can't be the
was
show without Chopper.
so happy to see this. We only got a small tease of him in the trailer, but like he came out on stage with Rosario,
Yeah,
which they did that in Anaheim too. So I'll take Chopper as much as I can, but I cannot wait for all the back and forth with him and Hera, him and Sabine. When they find Ezra finally and they reunite, like that's gonna be a special
it's
moment.
family, man.
He's gonna like run up with his arms out, like Ezra. Oh man, yeah, cannot wait for Chopper. So the next one, we only got a tease, which they'll probably maybe in a newer later trailer we'll get it. But I didn't even realize that was Ezra, but that little hologram was Ezra. So did you even notice that in the
I
trailer?
knew it was Ezra immediately, just based off of his costume. I didn't even have to look at
Yeah,
his head. I saw his costume, like that's
it's
Ezra.
yeah,
And the placement when they had it, I think it was when Sabine was staring at him. I
yep,
knew it was
yep,
Ezra because she's been worrying about him this entire time. I mean,
yeah,
granted, so has everybody else, like Ahsoka and Hera, but like immediately seeing the trailer, I knew that was Ezra. What was funny to me is that everyone in like this Star Wars forums, Facebook posts, when they would put this little picture up, they're just like, "Oh my god, Jabba the Hutt looks great," and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
what am I going blind? Do you guys think this is Jabba the Hutt, or is this the joke that I'm not getting in on?
And do you get what you don't that you
I
still don't
have
get?
no idea why they're calling him Jabba the Hutt.
Wow, I'm gonna have to pause the show for a second. So I need you to rewatch Rebels, because how many times when Ezra got caught, they asked him, "What's your name?" and he said, "It's Jabba the Hutt." At least a few different
Stop. I'm
episodes. You
embarrassed.
don't remember
I'm
that?
embarrassed. No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, at
Because
least 2 or 3 episodes, he said he was Jabba the Hutt, and then one of the Imperials was like, "We have Jabba the Hutt captured," and then someone was like, "That's not Jabba, that's Ezra." So
I'm
he
gonna have to well, what's crazy is like my friend Jim and I, Fulcrum in the Force, we are doing an Ahsoka recap show when it comes out, but
nice
we're gonna be doing a Rebels
rewatch.
rewatch to prepare for Ahsoka.
Yep,
Because he's also a big Ahsoka fan, but he's a huge Rebels Ahsoka fan, whereas I'm a huge Clone Wars Ahsoka
nice.
fan. So
Yep.
we're gonna be rewatching. So I'm definitely gonna have to keep an eye out for this Jabba the Hutt.
Oh yeah. So I saw those memes. They call him Jabba, and I reposted one, and someone was like, "That's not Jabba, that's Lando Calrissian." Because there was another episode where he did the same thing, and he said his name was Lando.
I'm dead,
So
and
yeah.
I'm embarrassed. I'm gonna eject myself right here.
So you'll it'll hit you when you watch it. But no, when I first saw the meme too, for a second, I'm like, Jabba the Hutt, and I had to think, and I'm like, oh yeah, he did do that a couple times when he got captured. He said his name was Jabba the Hutt, and the people believed him.
Oh, that's
So,
hysterical. Oh my god, that's great.
but awesome, we're getting Ezra, and all the leaks about him are crazy. This one though, I lost my mind when we saw him face forward in the trailer, and then when it finished,
Dead.
he came out on stage. I
Oh,
screamed so loud seeing Lars.
we were screaming in Galaxy Stage, and I was so ecstatic
Yeah,
because, like, seeing his face in the secret trailer, in my head, I was like, "Is that who I think it is?"
the red
And
eyes.
I was seeing the cheekbones first, and I was like, "If I'm not mistaken, that's Lars Mikkelsen."
Yep.
And I'm like, "Don't tell me they're doing a Jarvis, which, when Paul Bettany voiced Jarvis and then
Yeah.
became the live action character."
Yeah.
I screamed when he came on stage. And what's crazy is my friend Autumn. She hasn't seen Rebels, or she hasn't seen
Oh, okay.
Clone Wars, so she's actually watching Clone Wars now. But she hasn't seen Rebels yet, so she doesn't understand who Thrawn is. She just
Oh,
saw this blue guy on the screen, and she's not understanding why I'm freaking. Like, we're all freaking
it's a
out right now.
huge deal. It's a huge deal.
And then I was like shaking to her. I'm like, not only is that Thrawn, that's
It's
the
the
guy who
voice.
voices Thrawn. Like, that never happens really
Yeah.
in
Bo
acting history.
Bo-Katan was like one of the
Bo-Katan,
first,
one of the first in
and
Star
then
Wars, yeah.
him, and that's it. And that's it. I want to say, isn't there somebody else too? Oh, I feel like there's one other
Well,
person.
because, like, for example, some of the actors have done live action stuff. Like, Matt Lanter had done a character in, I
In
think, Mando
Mando.
season 1.
Yeah, the prison
The pres
guard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of who else from the Star Wars, voice acting community also voiced live action or did live action.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean more like their same character. They reprised the
oh,
role.
yeah. Yeah, those are the only 2 that I can think of.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's like like knowing for a fact that it's him. Like he looked fine, he looked good,
I
but
thought he looked amazing. I don't
yeah,
understand why people are chirping in the comments saying that, "Oh my god, once again, this is like just like the Grand Inquisitor." I'm like, I think
no,
Lars has the
no,
same exact face
no.
as Thrawn. Maybe
He
he's a
looks
little bit
fine
longer, but they both have
once.
very skinny, sunken in faces.
Yeah, the minute he starts talking and you just hear Thrawn, you could close your eyes and you'll picture it. It's gonna be so much better, like
For sure.
so much better. So that and like even the trailer we got on Friday from the back here, I'm like, yo, that's Lars's neck, that's his head. Like I knew it right
That's
away.
that's that's pretty good because I
I
wouldn't have
knew.
clocked that at all.
Oh no, I saw it and I'm like, yo, that's Lars. That is freaking Lars right there. Like that's his head. Like yeah. So that was the highlight of that trailer, and plus what Sabine did against that girl with someone else's thing, and you know what I'm talking about. I don't want
Yep.
to spoil it for
No, I'm not
people,
gonna spoil it for people, but I
even
also
though
screwed at that.
yeah, even though people probably have seen it, and it was a leak before anyway. But when that part actually releases, man, I screamed so hard when she ignited it. I'm like, yo,
I'm not
oh,
gonna lie. Like I remember last year, um, there were some leaks floating around about the Ahsoka show, and I
mhm.
am so glad I didn't look into any of them. I didn't open one.
Oh,
If
I
they were
looked at
sent
all
to
of them.
me, I deleted them just because I wanted to keep. Well, number one, I work in film production,
Uh
so like I get annoyed. Maybe just
huh.
because me, but I get annoyed when people on set are stupid, especially if you sign an NDA.
Yeah, yeah.
Knowing that you're working on a Star Wars show, you can't post anything anywhere. That's kind of why I was kind of like a little bit like irritated with all the pictures floating
Uh
around
huh.
from the Acolyte. Because I was just like, are you serious? I was so excited for the show, and I'm gonna be showing these pictures on set, guys.
Yeah,
So I didn't look into any of the leaks. I didn't look into any of the articles of who could be in this show. I was just like, give it to me fresh. So when we
yeah.
saw this trailer on Friday and then saw the trailer on Saturday, it was like the wait was worth it. The wait was
Oh no,
so worth
for
it.
sure. It still hit me hard. I'm not gonna lie. I'm weak. I read every one of those Ahsoka trailer leaks, and literally everyone has pretty much come true in the trailer, which
Oh,
is why,
really?
which is
Which is
yeah,
scary. Oh gosh, that's terrifying.
but terrifyingly good. Because then, if that means all the Anakin rumors and leaks are true, I'm gonna cry live on the internet. Like it's gonna be bad because some of those Hayden leaks are like, oh my god, this can't be real
I have to
in a
stick to
good
my
way.
gut and not look into any
No,
of them
that's
because
yeah. I mean, it's only a couple months away. You're good. Like
oh
you're
yeah,
almost
I know it
there.
comes out in August and that's when my birthday is. And so part of me is just kind of like,
You're almost
"Pl-
there. Yeah.
please tell me it releases the week of my birthday because that'd be a great end to my 20s.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, everything like all the stuff with Sabine having that was in the leaks, like everything. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful how
So
it's
great.
played out.
So great.
So the last one was not in the Ahsoka trailer, but it was in that Mando episode. This caught me off guard because there were rumors before this episode aired that Zeb might not be in Ahsoka because people were worried about how are they going to do it? Is it going to be CGI? Is it going to be practical? Is it going to be a mix?
This is the third one. Stephen Bloom. Steve
Yeah,
Bloom. This is the
yeah.
third actor that did voice actor for
Oh
live
yeah,
action.
I knew there was another one. This is it. This is him.
It was
Yeah,
Zeb. It
it
was
was
Zeb.
Zeb. So, what did you think when you saw this?
Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Like I saw him come into frame, I screamed because I was just like, Zeb is a character that is loved, beloved by many people,
Yeah,
and it is a scary thing when you have to translate creatures to live action, especially in Star Wars, because as you can see the evolution of what was the originals to the prequels to the sequels.
hmm,
Um, you don't get to see many characters that are aliens that can talk, especially one that has like a very intricated, like that pretty much has a human mouth, but
yeah,
everything else is alien about him.
yep.
And you know, props to ILM, props to Lucasfilm, props
Oh
to all the
yeah.
guys working on this. He looked so good. I was so happy, and if anything, this gave me the confidence, and this gave me the assurance that if they want to turn any of our Clone Wars faves or any of our Rebels faves or any of our Bad Batch, any animated Star Wars animated faves into live action, by all means, you can go ahead. Go right ahead and do it. I'll be fine with it because that was great. Zeb came out amazing.
Did you see my reaction I posted to this when seeing Zeb? By chance, did you
I
happen to
don't
see
think
it?
so.
I'm gonna send it to you right now on Instagram. It is priceless, authentic, and hilarious.
Do you want me to watch it right now?
Watch it right now. Watch it right
Okay.
now. You're
Well,
gonna die.
it'll be live on
It'll be live. You're gonna die. Make sure the volume is up so you can hear my. Ooh. Zeb,
Holy shit! And for this chorus.
Oh, looks like you're about to cry.
Dispatch in weeks.
I was listening.
Steve Bloom's an icon, man.
Then I'm just gonna have to go there and talk to them myself. Is that Zeb? You can't ignore me.
I was so focused, like making sure it was Zeb. I didn't believe it. I was so shocked.
Oh, it was such a great episode too. And that was a chef's kiss.
Yeah. So seeing Zeb, I was like, yo, that CGI looks amazing. It looked like it was part practical, part CGI, but I'm like, wow, like Marvel's CGI looks like crap. Like She-Hulk didn't look good like that. Like this was like next level.
Right.
So I feel so good now that they could do that. Also, if they eventually bring Cal Kestis into live action, if he has flashbacks about his master is the same species as Zeb. So they could, it's like 2 for 1. So now they could use that like model for Cal Kestis' master, which is awesome. So
they did a really good job, and I hope if Lucasfilm doesn't feel like the fans love it, let me be the one to officially say it many times over. They did amazing. They need to continue what they're doing. They did right, and Zeb is everything that we wanted and more.
Oh yeah. Yep. So that was that article, the 6 live action. The next article is the episode count. So did you hear about how many episodes it officially is?
I thought I heard something about it being the same amount of episodes as Andor. I could be wrong. It could just also be the same amount of episodes that Kenobi was, which was 6.
So no, it's actually 8. So it's
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so it's 8 episodes, which is good. And the reason they got that, all the interviews not in here, they were interviewing the guy that's playing Balin, the Dark Jedi guy. And they asked him, like, what's your favorite episode? And like he was like, well, out of the 8 episodes, it's all of them. So he kind of like confirmed it that it's 8 episodes.
It's also probably I remember that the Ahsoka panel so well. They were fine. Like Dave was fine with Rosario on there, with Mary, with with Natasha, with all of them. The second those 2 Dark Jedi came out, that he stared down at them, and he was just like, "You better not say anything that is not on the approved list."
Yeah, because they're both new to Star Wars, so they didn't know the drill. Yeah.
Well, they're new to Star Wars, but they're also characters that look like could make or break what the storyline could be.
Yeah.
Because they're dark Jedi. They're not Sith. They're not. It looks like they're not tied to, like, we don't know what they are yet.
I know, yeah.
But so if he said that there's 8 episodes, that means Dave was like, you can say 8 episodes.
Yeah. He said that in an interview, like afterwards, like behind the scenes. So 8 episodes, I'm fine with that. It would have been nice if it would have been 12 like Andor, but like
that'd be great.
But like Kenobi only being 6, like Kenobi should have been more. Andor should have been less, but I'll take the 8 for Ahsoka, like gladly. I'm
fine with the length of Andor, mainly knowing that there's gonna be a season 2 to it.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping is that seeing that how it says Ahsoka season 1, that is already making me know that there will be a season 2. It just hasn't been announced or if anything greenlit just yet. But because if there's 8 episodes, I'm okay with that, because if there's going to be a season 2, that means there's more to come.
Yeah, and then they said that it's the way it's set up. The first 4 episodes are like before the Rebels epilogue, and then the last 4 episodes are after the Rebels epilogue, like the finale. So it's kind of like time split. That's why you see in the trailer Sabine has short hair, and that's like the first 4 episodes, and then she has long hair after, because it's like years after. So there's like a time jump, which is dope. So I cannot wait. The next article I have is more Ahsoka. So I guess since Lars came out on stage, she could finally like talk about it, and he just was happy to come back. That Dave called him and was kind of like talking to him, brought him out to LA.
I love that they use Skype.
Yeah.
Out of all the platforms they could have used, they're like, we just had a Skype call. And I'm like, who's still using Skype?
because Lars is old school. He's not up with all that, like
I love
new
it. I'm
stuff.
here for it.
So that was great. And then seeing him come out on stage, like this moment right here, I actually let me see if I can see myself. Yeah, I'm somewhere right here. I'm somewhere right
Oh
here,
god, that's
freaking out, literally freaking out. That's probably me clapping with the hands really high right there. I think that probably was me. I was so hyped.
we were screaming. When I'm telling you, we were screaming in the Galaxy stage. Like we were so excited, and it was everything. I mean, I can only imagine being him, like knowing that you've had to keep the big, not a big secret, but it's a huge
It
secret.
is. Yeah, it is.
But in keeping a secret like this for pretty much over 2 years at this point, because
Yeah.
he probably got no, he probably was told that he was cast like over 2 years ago. Had to go through contracts, had to go through all of this, makeup fittings, all this, trying to not be seen on set, trying to not be leaked on set.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because he was blue as hell, and they
he was
said
like, you
that
can't avoid that. Like, you can't avoid going to the makeup chair and turning blue. Like,
the makeup chair they said was 2 to 3 hours every day. So that's a lot of time for a random person to snap a picture.
no, I mean,
Nothing leaked.
it's being in the makeup chairs for is like a bit of time. Like I worked on a movie last year, and I was the assistant to an actress, and she had to
Mhm.
be in the makeup chair roughly like an hour sometimes, because there's a certain makeup prosthetic she had to put on for the movie,
Uh-huh.
and that's an hour. And we had to come in at like an hour early because of that. Now I can only imagine coming
3
2 hours
hours.
early or
Yeah.
3 hours early just for makeup, and then on top of that do your 12 to 15 hour day. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. So
But
crazy.
the fact that they were able to keep that under wraps, because
No,
like
it's insane.
insane. I was so proud of him and so happy for him.
Yep. So next thing is going over new movies and shows for 2024 and beyond. So all the announcements we basically got at Celebration. So this one kind of was a curveball. Rey's new Jedi Order. So what'd you think about this? How'd you feel about this?
So what's crazy to me is it really wasn't a shock to me, because my
Yeah.
friends and I, we had been speculating for I think over a year now that if they were to make a post sequel movie, right, it wouldn't be an immediate after the Rise of Skywalker. This would
Yeah.
either have to, actually, we if anything, we predicted that it was going to be 40 years after the Rise of Skywalker. That at this
Mhm.
point, Rey was on her way out. There would have been already a Jedi temple with her statue in it or something.
Yeah.
But when they announced that it was 15 years, I'm like, okay, well, that's sooner than I expected, but still enough time from,
Yeah.
the last battle for the Final Order. Like, I was just like, wow. The only thing that like brings I didn't mention it earlier, but my second favorite character is Kylo Ren. Like,
Oh,
I'm a big Kylo fan, and I feel like my boy
he got played.
got played in that last movie. So I was like wondering, like, well, you know what? It would be great to get some type of no. You know what? Let's just leave him where he is right now, and maybe one day we will get a Knights of Ren show, and that's when I can only pray about. But I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm jealous you guys got to see Daisy. I mean, granted, I
Yeah,
saw
she
Daisy
came
in
out.
person in 2017 too. But
Yeah. No, she
think
was so
that's
shocked.
great.
Yeah. Like I didn't expect her to come out. Like that's wild. But like for this, I mean, I'm not gonna judge until it comes out. Hopefully, they learn from their mistakes. Just the one thing that kind of irks me a little bit is I hope they don't like keep referring to her as like Rey Skywalker in there. Like I wasn't a huge fan of that.
They're going to be naming her Master Skywalker because
And
that's her
and
name.
that's what like if I hear a little youngling say Master Skywalker, like immediately
What are
I
they
think
gonna do?
Anakin and Luke. I don't think Rey. But like Master
True.
Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? Like,
Oh my god.
no. So I guess we'll see. But like, I don't even know if it's truly a Rey movie or if she's just in there building the Jedi Order as like just a character in the movie. Because supposedly this movie was supposed to be like that David Lindelof movie, but he like left. And supposedly that movie had a script and two main characters, and supposedly like Rey, Finn, and Poe were gonna make cameos in it. So I don't know if
That's
they're
what I
just
heard too.
yeah. So I don't know if it's truly a Rey movie or she'll be in there with a Jedi Order for part of it, but it's really a movie about something else. I have no idea.
If anything, it's funny because I remember seeing an interview with Daisy, I think not even 4 or 5 months ago, and they'd asked her, would you ever return to Star Wars?
Yeah.
And she literally is like, well, Disney has my number, Lucasfilm has my number. I'm currently looking for a job, so if they want to employ me, by all means.
Yeah.
And I thought that to be so funny for her to say. And then of course it comes true.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, is that manifesting? If that's the case, can you manifest like a Knights of Ren show while you're at it?
That'd be
Because like
dope.
that'd be great. If once again, like if you can get my boy Adam back in there, that'd be even twice as great.
Or I would love to see like Luke's Jedi Academy and him training Kylo and seeing him turn and destroy it like we saw in the flashbacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I am excited for this film though.
Yeah.
Daisy really does deserve all the accolades, and even though people had a lot of mixed opinions over the sequels throughout the years, I will not deny, and I will be very firm in my belief in saying that Daisy was an amazing cast for Rey, and I'm excited for her to return back.
I kind of hope, and it's not gonna happen, but I kind of want her to turn dark because when she was like that,
dude, Dark Rey is my favorite saber. I own it. It's the best.
Ray,
oh, it's so good.
I want her just to turn dark. Like, come on, like stop with all these good endings. Like, let somebody turn dark and stay dark. Please, that'd be so crazy. So
died of the Force. It should have just been too dark. Kylo and her, Emperor and Emperor, and
that would have
been
sick.
So great. So great.
And they could have had twins, and one of them could have turned light and try to kill. It could have been crazy continuation.
To write the script now.
Yes. So the next one is the first Jedi movie. So this is cool. Like when they said it's going to be a movie about the first Jedi ever before the Old Republic, I was like, damn, like that sounds badass. I didn't know who James Mangold was. Like they brought him out on stage. I'm like, cool, that's cool, dude. Like I didn't realize he's the one who directed the Logan movie. Did you see the Logan movie?
I did, and it tore at my heartstrings because I remember seeing Wolverine and then Professor X and all the X-Men movies. Like I'm a big fan of Hugh Jackman, so like getting to see his character kind of wrap up in Logan was very heartbreaking. I'm just like, oh my god, like this is the end of your character. And then of course Ryan Reynolds was able to get him back in.
Oh yeah, multiverse is real.
Freaking he's back. Deadpool 3.
Yeah.
But what I'm excited about is, we've never traveled this far back in time in Star Wars ever, aside from obviously the games and the comics, but that's pretty much where they stopped at. They never wanted to, like, they never really attempted. And I guess now that we have this lovely expanded universe of Star Wars, we can go there. But I'm really hyped. I mean, it's fresh. It'll be new. We are not going to be, I think, if anything, we're not going to be in the Skywalker saga. No. At all. There's going to be like all new content, all new characters. And I think that's kind of why I loved Rogue One so much. Yeah. Because Rogue One, even though tied into Episode 4, and it was like literally the story of how we got the Death Star plans. Yep. We didn't know anybody. Everybody was brand new except for Bail Organa and obviously Mon Mothma. And Legend Tilly's and Vader. And
Chopper and R2 and 3PO.
Yes, and 3PO. And of course Tarkin. Everybody else, like Jyn Erso, Cassian Andor, Galen, brand new characters. And it was so refreshing to see new characters kind of come to light. So now that we're getting a whole new, and at this point, we can't even say we know Yoda because Yoda is not even going to exist at this time. So we're we're not going to know any of our favorite. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the first movie Anthony Daniels is not going to be in. Star Wars wise, he's going to be like, he's not going to be in this one for the first time in his entire career. And so it's going to be very strange, but I'm really excited.
I bet you they'll have him cameo in there as
like another droid.
Or as another droid, just so he can have that title of I've been in everything.
On his IMDb saying I'm continuing the Star Wars journey, just as a different character. That'd be funny.
I kind of wish they would have did this first in 2025, like something new and fresh. Um, but that's fine as long as we get a freaking movie. I miss
I
going to
need
the
them to.
theaters.
I need them to commit to it too, because I remember also being told that we're going to be getting a trilogy from Ryan Johnson and
Oh, there's so
movies from Taika Waititi,
Taika,
and I'm just
Kevin
like,
Feige,
and I'm just like,
yeah, it was a
because it was
lot.
crazy. They're all on George Lucas's IMDb.
Yeah,
Like they're as because he's listed as a writer for all of them, and I'm here like, so are they not happening?
yeah,
Commit
exactly.
to it. They announced it. Commit to it now.
So this is the next one. So this one,
I
m-
hate that word so much.
oh yeah, you do. Yeah. What is it? Wait, what word do you hate?
I hate the Mandoverse. I think that's the stupidest. It reminds me. I'm not saying I'm shitting on Marvel because I love Marvel, but it gives me very much Marvel and DC vibes when we call it the verse of something like the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
The Marvel verse. It's
Well, look,
the
I scrolled
era.
away. I scrolled away from it. It's not there no more. But this announcement, like my jaw dropped when I saw Filoni come out because, like, she said, "Here are the next 3 directors for the next 3 movies." And when
Deserves
I
it.
saw Filoni come out, I was like, "It's true! Oh my god, they
He
gave the
deserves
Chosen
it.
One a movie." Yes, he deserved it. I already know I'm gonna watch this movie at least 10 times. I want my man to hit 1 billion, like the quickest Star Wars movie ever, just to
I
show
think he
like
will.
he
He's
will,
definitely going
but
to.
I want it to be quicker. So I'm literally gonna probably watch it all 3 or 4 days opening weekend and at least once a week for the next 2 months, just so he could get those sales. Cause like it's gonna be
The movie theater
freaking
people are gonna be like, dude, we just saved you your seat. Like, don't
yeah.
even have to pay for it at this
Oh
point.
yeah.
I mean, you can if you want to, but the seat's there, it's yours.
I might even get a cowboy hat like Dave and wear it to watch it just to show
Do
love.
it. Cosplay of anything, cosplay Dave every single day.
But this movie, no matter what it is clearly an Heir to the Empire inspired movie with Ahsoka fighting Thrawn. They'll probably bring Luke, probably Mando, maybe Grogu will get a saber finally and fight some people on the big screen. You
Din
know how nuts
Grogu,
that would
yep.
be? Yeah, little Din
He
Grogu.
deserves it.
So
Deserves it.
yeah, I'm super hyped. And then the rumor is 2026 for this movie, which is interesting because technically there's no celebration confirmed yet for after
Yeah.
2025, but I know for a fact there's going to be a celebration in 2027. That's the 50 year of A New Hope. You can't miss that anniversary. So they have to do one there.
They
But I'm
have to.
wondering
I
if
was
they're going
actually,
to
oh, that's so weird. I was at the 40th.
yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That was the 40th when we were there, 2017. So the 50th would be then. So they have to do one that year. Maybe they'll do one 2026 and 2027, like 2 in America back to back. Because by
I think they
then,
should.
it's
Oh, they
been so
should.
long since it's been here. And like that will financially destroy me because that means that's 3 years in a row of
That's one
celebration.
international, one and then 2 domestic.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll figure it out. It's fine. But like,
Oh, I already know
man.
I'm never gonna be able to afford a house at this point. I'm gonna be renting for the rest of my days because I can't. I need to go. I need to be present. My body needs to be inside the room when it happens.
Yes. So super excited for Filoni's movie, no matter what it is. The next one, oh, and there's another article about this, but Tales of the Jedi
I'm
season
so
2.
excited.
Me too. I hope. I mean, I have no idea who it could be. I kind of hope they do something with Anakin and show him between episode 1 and episode 2 training with Obi-Wan, because we haven't seen any stories in that time other than like in books and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I would like to see that, or like it'd be cool seeing stuff with Maul, seeing Palpatine training Maul.
That'd be well. Here's the, and I guess that's gonna be the trickiness of it is because it's Tales of the Jedi, and Maul never
Oh, because Dooku was
was
a
a Jedi.
Jedi that
Yeah,
turned.
Dooku was a
You're
Jedi
right.
turned
You're
Sith.
right.
I mean, what I would think would be really cool to do
Hmm.
is we didn't see it often, but we definitely saw snippets of it in that arc that she had. But Asajj had this arc in Clone Wars
Oh
where it showed how she went from the Night Sisters when she was
no,
born
she.
to the Jedi, then turned dark when her
Oh,
master died. So if they can actually like tune in on her
You're
Jedi
right.
days,
Yeah.
that'd be great because I thought Asajj was another amazing character in Clone Wars that kind of I
Amazing.
feel like got
No love.
gypped
No
no
love.
love in the end. Like she ended up becoming a bounty hunter towards the end, being with mercenaries, and then somewhat trying to help Ahsoka while she is like on the run from basically the Republic after her false accusations came out of her murdering another Jedi. Um,
So, did you ever read the book Dooku Jedi Lost?
No, and I'm shooting myself in the foot because there's so many books I should have read. Like I have the Ahsoka book, I have the
Yeah.
Queen Amidala books, but I hate to be the one to say this. They just sit on my shelf. I don't
No, me
read.
too. I have a like in my room, I have a fire bookshelf of about 30 books. I've read one and a half. So they look cool, but I'm terrible. But Dooku, Dooku Jedi Lost, I actually read it because it is an amazing book about Count Dooku turning. And like after reading that book and watching Tales hit so much harder for me because I kind of knew what he went
Damn.
through. But it's funny you mentioned Asajj. Asajj is a big part in Dooku's book, because like she was a Jedi, and the reason she turned is because like Sith and other people kept killing her masters. So she watched like two or
Literally.
three of her masters die, and then she went to Dooku, and Dooku took her in. So
Yeah,
like she could be Tales of the Jedi season 2 because she was a Jedi.
she
She
was.
legit turned. I never thought of that till you said it, but I bet you that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be
And
her.
she had to have been a Jedi during the time that Anakin was training as a Jedi too. Like that's
Yeah.
during the same era.
So they
So
could do
if
both.
they could do Anakin and Asajj, that'd be very,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. So this show cannot wait for
I'm really excited.
the yeah, Bad Batch. Oh my god.
This show.
You finished season 2, right?
I did. Actually, my so my my friends and I we do my friend Jim and I we did a recap of we first started with the Bad Batch and then ended it out on like midway when Mando started and we were only then focusing on Mando. But then we
Uh-huh.
did a recap of the Bad Batch once it finished and I mean I remember season 1 very vividly.
Yeah.
Um it's just it's like I thought when we saw them in season 7 of Clone Wars, the first part, right? I'm like,
Uh-huh.
wow, this is actually a really cool crew.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
these clones are sick. These are the coolest, little group of clones that I've seen in a very long time. Aside from my favorite batch of like fives, Rex, Cody, and all them.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and then we got season 1 of Bad Batch, and maybe it was because I was brand new to the streaming scene and I was getting to meet all these Star Wars people. I kept saying I love this show,
Uh-huh.
and I really wasn't. It was actually really hard for me to really love the Bad Batch. Like there are people
Yeah.
out there that love the Bad Batch. I liked it. I thought it was okay. I don't think it
Uh-huh.
was the most groundbreaking show out there. And then season 2 happened, and I was just like, okay, hopefully this season they can answer my questions from season 1 because I had
Oh.
many questions
Yeah, yeah,
at
yeah.
this point. And then, of course, my one question that I had didn't get answered until the last episode
What question
of
was that?
season 2. Who is Omega? Like, what? And even then, it's not they didn't fully answer my
Oh,
question.
she's just a Django clone.
No, but
Boba Fett's sister.
but well, the whole point of season 1 is like she was such a
Oh,
value
like special,
and
like
special,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
she
yeah,
had
yeah,
such
yeah.
she was such a prized possession to the Kaminoans. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah, yeah,
Is it
yeah.
because she's female? And no one answered that question. And then, of course, in season 2, when we get the season finale, and the girl, like the older girl, shows up and is like, Ahsoka, I'm not Ahsoka,
Uh-huh.
lol. Omega, I'm your sister. Like,
Yeah,
I'm what you are going to be in years' time. Like, I was the first one of you guys of the experiments.
yeah.
And I'm like, but you're still not answering the question.
I
What
know.
are you guys to the Kaminoans and what are you to the
Yeah,
research? No one answered that. So I'm praying, because they only have one season left to do this,
yeah.
that we are done with obviously the side quest from Sid because
I
I'm
know.
tired of Sid. And I have words of this woman. And then number two, that we can just get to the bottom of why you're so important to the Empire. That's all I want
Yeah,
to know.
I know that. So the Bad Batch, it was a lot of filler, a lot of Sid missions, which got old quick. But some of the episodes like hit hard, especially the
The
ones
crosshair
that,
episode.
yes, Crosshair, Cody, my boy Cody's back. Mayday, I love Mayday
Oh
too,
my
even though, oh
god.
man. So yeah, the episodes were either oh my god amazing or like come on, you guys are on an island eating sushi, like what's going on, like really. So
Right.
for season 3, they announced it's the final season and they gave us a trailer. And I was shocked because I was like, well, how much do you have done that you have a trailer for us? The trailer was mad long. They showed a ton of the show is done, and it looks super dark, gritty, doomy, gloomy, like serious. So it looks like
They
it's going to
said this is
be,
not a kid show. You thought it
yeah,
was. It's not.
no. So hopefully it's less filler because since they're not with Sid, no more Sid missions. But season 3 looks promising for sure, and hopefully that question gets answered. Because like, is she force sensitive? Maybe is
That
she
was a
like,
question from season one people had. They're just
yeah,
like, she has to be force sensitive. Um,
she connects with the
but
animals and stuff. Like, yeah,
she just vibes with so many people. Um, but at the same time, like I'm also of the clan that thinks that Tech's not dead. Because until I see a dead body in Star Wars.
I I want to. I think I'm part of that too. Because like maybe they found him. Maybe they're experimenting on him. Because they found his goggles. Like you found his body.
Right.
So
Right. Very sus. And then
I think.
on top of that, the scientist who's doing all these experiments on them,
Mhm.
it's making it very known that he needs clones, that he wants to dissect clones. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you wouldn't just let a clone like Tech
Yeah.
die. He's
Yeah.
probably holed up somewhere, and we're about to see
Yep.
him in season 3. So that's kind of like my hope, because I'm
Yeah.
at this point, unless you see the body, unless you see the dead body, because even with Maul was in half,
Cut in half.
but we did not see his body afterwards, and
He
obviously it
came
was
back.
shown he came back. So at this point, Star Wars, the possibility is endless. You could be dead. You could think people can think you're dead, but you're not.
Yes. Exactly. So that was the last part of that. The last thing that I have today is 2 new collectibles that are coming out. They just released these pictures like yesterday or today, so we're getting a new vintage collection, the smaller one, the 3 3/4 Boba Fett in the Tusken outfit, which they haven't released this version yet at that scale. Do you collect any of these figures?
I don't. And
Good,
the
because
reason why I don't is because it's the thing about it's the same thing that I have with lightsabers. Once you go down the whatever hole it
rabbit
is, you can
hole.
the rabbit hole of either of its helmets, lightsabers, figures, Legos. Once you go down a hole, you're gonna keep going
Yep.
until you can't see the sky anymore. And so I've already jumped down the lightsaber hole. I thought I was gonna be fine with my 3 from Galaxy's Edge, and now I own 7.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
So my
No.
fear is with figures, especially with collectible unique ones. Once I jump down that hole, I am never financially recovering, and I need to financially recover from Celebration this year
Yep.
and prepare for Celebration in 2025.
Exactly. Yeah, these are trouble. I think I probably have like at least 100 of these. I have them all on the wall. Yeah, it's bad. It's really, really bad. But like what gets me with these is a lot of times they're dirt cheap and like I'll see them at Target or at Walmart and I'll find them on clearance. So it's kind of like, well, I might as well get them all. So
I mean, if it's
yeah.
on clearance, then yeah, that's definitely actually worth it.
Oh, for sure. So it was 2 vintage figures. This Boba one, the second one though, I'm excited for, and I'm gonna buy 2 of them. One to open up and one to keep on the card in the bubble. The boy R5. Yes,
The homie himself, the
yes,
winner of season 8 of episode 8 of The Mandalorian, in my opinion.
yes. He. Oh, I love R5. So definitely grabbing this. And Hasbro's actually releasing the N1 Starfighter from the Mando, and this you could buy and put him in the back with Mando like in the front. So it's kind of like a must for that. But yeah, the boy R5, look at him.
That's worth it for sure.
So that was the last thing I have. What do you have coming up next on your channel that the people can look forward to?
So I'm probably gonna get it done tonight. I'm probably gonna film it tonight. I am finally gonna be doing my lightsaber review of my
Nice.
Obi-Wan Kenobi Profi saber and my
Ooh.
very new Cal Kestis saber, Profi saber from Padawan Outpost. They're a
Nice.
lightsaber company out in the UK. Very affordable sabers. They sell everything from baselit to Xenopixel to Neopixel to Profi. They just got a brand new shipment of V3 Xenopixels. So last time I checked, they were having a massive sale on all their V2s.
Nice.
And they sell a lot of empties, installed, custom sabers, replica sabers. So I've been meaning to do a lightsaber review from them for a very long time, and I haven't been able to get to it. And now that I just did my celebration review, I was like, okay, now it's time for me to really get back to YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'll probably have my lightsaber review filmed this weekend, edited, and I'll probably post it sometime on Saturday or Sunday.
Nice.
And then aside from that, just, I do my Rebel Based Radio after show with my friend Jim. I think this week we're doing it actually tomorrow. I think tomorrow, which would be, this is coming out, Friday?
Friday, yeah.
So, I mean, this would probably happen yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do our recap show where we really just do the show that's kind of out at the moment. So now we're gonna be recapping the finale of Mandalorian season 3, and then we're just gonna be getting into a recap or rewatch series of Rebels. And I once upon a time last year I did have a podcast called Snips Comlink. It's currently on hiatus. I am probably going to revive that back again very soon because I do want. I'll probably also rename my podcast because Snips Comlink. I had it because I love obviously Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But I'm needing a much cooler name, so I gotta brainstorm a bit.
Yeah.
But usually on that podcast, I would bring on multiple people, like people that are like not experts, but like people that are big fans of like Lego games or Star Wars or anime, and we would just talk and just get to know things. So you could watch my podcast and come there not knowing nothing and then leave knowing something.
Yeah,
so that's
cool.
Pretty much the whole point of my podcast.
Nice. Awesome. So that sounds good. Well, again, thank you for your time, and I appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate you inviting me on, and it was so great to see you in person at Celebration.
Yes,
literally like a lot of times not only was the Wi-Fi shitty in that place, but we just happened to be in the right place at the right time because I literally turned over and I saw your hat and I was like, is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
And so I just waited for you, and it just happened to be you, and then we got to meet up, and that was great.
Yeah, no, that was awesome for sure. Yes. Well, that's everything for this episode of Sith Talk. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.